Well, the National Sample Survey Office under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has released its latest data on household consumption expenditure. In fact, this data pertains to the 2022-2023 financial year. What is notable is that the latest consumer expenditure survey indicates that poverty has come down to 5% in the country and people are becoming prosperous both in rural and urban areas. Additionally, the data shows that per capita monthly household expenditure more than doubled as compared to a decade before. The data showed that the average per capita monthly expenditure for all categories stood at rupees 3,773 in rural areas and rupees 6,459 in urban areas. This data comes after the Niti Aayog had earlier revealed that as many as 24.82 crore people moved out of multidimensional poverty in 9 years. So, of course, this is the latest that is coming in the report that in fact gives us an understanding through the data that has been released. In fact, my colleague Mehendi Garg joins us on the broadcast. Mehendi, what more details can you share with our viewers as far as this NSSO data is concerned? What is it telling us?
Well, yes, as you said, in the significant developments, the latest consumer expenditure survey conducted by the NSSO, it has been revealed that a substantial decline in poverty levels has been noticed in India, and that level drops to 5%. And according to the Niti Aayog CEO, BVR Subramaniam, the survey indicates that the poverty has come down to 5% in the country, signaling a positive trend in both the rural and the urban areas. And the survey data shows a significant increase in the per capita monthly household expenditure also, that is in 22 and 23 compared to the 11 and 12 data. Also, the Subramaniam has emphasized the importance of household consumption data in assessing the status of poverty and the effectiveness of poverty elevation measures. This survey findings also suggest that the poverty in India is now below 5%. But the noble takeaway that we can take from this survey is that the faster growth of consumption in rural areas has been done compared to the urban areas. And this trend is contributing to a narrowing of the gap between the urban and rural incomes and also the consumption. And if I talk about the gap, which stood at 84% in 2011 and 12, it has been reduced to 71% in the 22 and 23 data. So this was the latest update on the NSSO development.
All right, Mehendi, with that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing all those details with our viewers. Meanwhile, joining us at this point of time is Dr. Sharad Kohli, Senior Economist. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for speaking to us on NewsX. Now, of course, prosperous news has been delivered via the NSSO data that, it in fact says that poverty has come down by 5% in India. What do you make of all this data that's now been unraveled?
Well, good morning, first of all, Sabri, and good morning to the NewsX viewers. Sounds quite encouraging, I would say, as far as the Indian economy is concerned. I mean, the growth path that Indian economy is on is quite vindicated by this NSSO data. Poverty coming down in India is definitely music for Indian policymakers for their ears, as far as they are concerned, because it helps you in making policies accordingly. It also comes as big news for the for the FMCG industry, who are into consumption, because it shows that overall consumption of the Indian rural belt has increased, which is very good. And I think there were a lot of comments and a lot of criticism coming when it was said that 25 crore people have come out of multidimensional poverty index in the last 10 years. So there were a lot of questions raised, and there were a lot of questions raised on the standard of living, on the number of poor and, poverty conditions and so and so. But I think this data categorically reveals that with the consumption going up in the rural belt, that itself is a clear indication that if I am poor, I would not be in a position to increase my consumption, first of all. That's my first point. My second point is that a typical symptom of poverty is that where a household spends more on food and less on other expenditure. And the trend shows that amount on food or consumption overall share of food expenditure has gone down, which means other expenditure has gone up, which is again a very good sign. So there are a couple of indicators which are inherent in this data, which are clearly indicating that if somebody doesn't want to believe these numbers, or somebody doesn't want to, spell out the character of these numbers, then I think if you go deeper into the data, you will find out that poverty actually is coming down, and poverty coming down to 5% is very good. Although I would say that we have a Garib Kalyan Yojana running where 81 crore 30 lakh people are being given 5 kilos of food grains every month. So a lot of people say that, if 80 crore people are being given food grains 5 kilos every month, then where is poverty reduced? So the answer to that is that multidimensional poverty index, people coming out of that is a very vulnerable index. People can easily slip back. And as Prime Minister also rightly said, that we have to look after those people for some time. So even if, let's say, a household is out of poverty and still getting 5 kilos of food grains, I don't see any harm in that. I mean, I won't say that a person has become rich, but the person is not in the poverty category or poor category as per the policy. So overall good news, and India growing at 7%, about to become the third largest economy in a couple of years, already the fifth largest. I think all the indicators are pointing towards a very robust Indian economy in the times to come, Sabri.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.